The following program is rated S for satire. We are not professionals, nor are we clinically depressed. We do, however, suffer from long bouts of indecision and stagnation. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Take That Depression, the Project CC arc. I'm Kyler. That's Spencer.
Hello there.
How are you doing this week, Spencer?
I'm doing pretty alright. Been crossing off a bunch of boxes for choring and stuff to get done. So
Nice.
I've been
Doing that?
doing it. I've zoned out for a second. Yeah, I've been doing
Where
that.
are we?
It's been a good week.
No,
let's stick with that.
Good.
You?
Good. Moving in a week, so we're getting stuff more packed up. Our kids are pretty bare bones. They're just mattresses on the ground right now, which feels kind of bad, but I don't know what do you expect from us, you know? But yeah, we're moving in a week. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you guys.
To get into the new spot. We're doing a double recording tonight, spoiler alert. This will be the last recording in the old house. Hopefully, what that means is next recording should sound hopefully a little bit better because I'm going to have an actual computer room. We're not recording in the living room on my laptop. We're recording on an actual computer. But all that for 2 weeks away now. It'll be this one, and we're going to record another sand episode right after this one, line and sand episode right after this one, to kind of cover my week off that I need for the actual act of moving.
Yeah, what a pain.
Yeah, don't love that. That's going to be the biggest U-Haul that we have in the area, and we're just going to, because we need to be out of the house, because we're selling this house and buying the new house on the same day. So we need to be out of this house the night before. So we're going to pack our entire house up in a U-Haul, go stay with my parents. Luckily, they opened their doors for us, and then sign over this house the next day, and then sign the papers for our house that same day, and then move everything in that day. And it's going to be a mess.
Just as you haul outside the house.
I wonder what's happening. No, it'll be good. Very stressful. It's been a very stressful time. But we're almost done. The end is in sight, so we'll just focus on our set in stones for this episode, our set in sands for next episode, and we'll have a good night.
Success.
So I guess then we move right into it. I think for me, the set in stone, I like the prison aspect of it, pretty much everything that we talked about. It's like inherently prison. It's not one of the things that we were thinking about, just I don't know if we talked about it or not, was are they slaves or are they prisoners? And I prefer to think of it as prisoners. I don't like the idea of them being slaves, but it's not, whatever. But I think that that's one of my set in stone. I do like the prisoner thing. I like the voluntary service idea. I don't necessarily know that that's a set in stone for me, but I like the voluntary. You can opt in to lessen your prison sentence, or you can just serve your time and call it a day. I do like that aspect of it. I know we also talked about the dungeon entrance being within the prison. So it's kind of like a customs checkpoint or something like that.
I really like that for a set in stone because, again, the CRU is like kind of that. You're not like volunteering really to like, as of yet.
Yeah.
You're not like volunteering in my head too. It's also like a sentence you are like put into this organization. So it makes sense if you're put into this, you would be near a prison or a prison like facility. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's in my head, you volunteer as an inmate of the prison. So then, you can either, like, you're doing hard labor in the dungeon and not getting any prison time off, or you're doing whatever the CRU wants you to be doing and you're getting time off. Type beat. In my head. I also really like the idea of the gate, the dungeon entrance being within the prison. Because of that customs idea. That to really control. I think that is, I know this is a set in stone episode. I don't know that this is set in stone, but I think that gives the feel that the government that runs this kind of the world that we're creating has that kind of chokehold on dungeon things. Feels like they're kind of oppressive. Delio gives that vibe that they're like, they want to know what people are finding in the dungeon. What that reason is, we don't know yet.
You found some cool treasure? Cool, carry on. It's like, let me see what you got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's just like anything else. Like if we just went into the woods and found a gold box of treasure, Uncle Sam's gonna be coming in hot and heavy, like, what'd you find there, friend?
Yeah. 33% of that belongs to me, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I found it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that the customs idea I really, really enjoy. The again, the forcing, quote unquote, forcing you to go through the prison. I think that also falls in line really well with what we talked about permits. You'll have people there to check permits. You'll have a reason that you need a permit. You can't just like, I'm going to go to the dungeon entrance and try and sneak by.
Yeah. It's
like you're not going to sneak. Well, you're probably not going to sneak into a prison, through the prison, to the dungeon entrance. Someone's going to probably see you, and you're going to need to provide that permit.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like that also creates like a market for like stealing permits or like forgery, anything, any kind of like adding a whole level of like crime to that.
Yeah, the back alley ways of getting around things, like again, not set in stone, this is more first hand episode, but like if there are other dungeon entrances that people find, they're like, hold it for a high price for some crime family. It's like, I'll tell you where it is for 100,000 rubles, or whatever. That kind of a thing, because that's a back door that they don't know about, that the government don't know about yet. Don't know if that's going to come to fruition, but that's what that kind of stuff allows. With that control, there becomes stuff that you can't control. And I do like that. I think that's a set in stone, that there will be stuff that the government doesn't like to happening. But yeah, the customs.
Fuck those guys.
The customs is a really, really good idea. Again, just the magic items, things like that. Like you can keep all the iron ore that you want to carry, friend, but
even if it's just like surface level entrance, like just like you or anything that happens down there, whatever. But when you come back out, it's like, what did you find or anything like that?
Yeah. Like full pat down search, all the bags, all the things that you're bringing, and that is, it's kind of funny. It's the inverse of like our world. Generally, when you go to a thing, you get searched on your way in, and then when you're on your way out, they're just like, get out of here, go on. Yeah, nobody gives a care what you got now.
Daggers, swords, whatever. Go ahead.
You must have got them in the building, so. They're probably whatever. But yeah, so this would be inverse. Like, it's just, you have the permit, flash the permit, and they're like, okay, be on your way. Here's the squad of CRU for 700 rubles. But on your way out, it's very strict security. Metal detectors.
Please hang your people on the door on the way out.
Yeah, that's very cool. And again, the permits, I think, are definitely on the table for me. That's definitely set in stone in some form. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a paper permit. We could get like fantasy with it if we wanted to, but also don't fix what isn't broken either.
I think that's a set in stone for me too. I gotta agree with that.
Yeah, the permit for sure.
A set in stone for me was deciding how we wanted our heroes to like proceed, whether they start like a rebellion inside or a group, or they are called something because they form a team inside, or whether they want to get recruited down the road from someone. And I definitely was leaning more towards, I think we're both in agreement, but leaning more towards the recruitment. I like the idea of a disgraced former guild head or something like that.
Yeah, I think that idea leaves a lot of room for some fun and or creative writing of the people that used to work with him, knowing what kind of person he was, or them, working with them, know what kind of person they were. Not necessarily a man or masculine figure. But then to have that come out and be like, that doesn't sound like that person, to still come and kind of like give them contracts or whatever. So I think it makes it so our heroes don't have to start out, once they kind of get their foot in the door, they're not starting out at square one. They are not creating this mercenary company from the ground up. They have that kind of name to back them
and some direction to go to.
Exactly. If they're not savvy on what exactly like a mercenary company would do, then it would take learning, trial and error, figuring out exactly how to even like file for the permit to get into the dungeon. Whereas if you have that disgraced former guild head, they have got all that locked and loaded, and they know what they're doing, and they can kind of speed along that process. So that makes it a little bit easier on us, while again giving us fun avenues, because we can reach back to people in their past. We can reach forward and like what they could become if they were, not saying that this, but if they were the head of like the most prestigious mercenary guild and then they got dishonored for whatever reason, to look forward and then try and recapture that top of the game. We can look forward and do that.
I think of just like a little off topic, but a very like obscure, just like he was disgraced ever since that night, and just
the event,
and then just not talking about it.
Nobody knows, nobody whatever. And it's just like they woke up one morning and this guy wasn't there, and they were told that he was disgraced.
All right, I guess
he did a bad thing, or they were disgraced.
I feel like that also opens the door too for like all the backstory in the world and like things for that.
Yeah, again, I think something that we talk about often, and is probably a set in stone for the universe, not necessarily Project CC, is the want to go forward and backward in time within this universe. So we can do flashbacks for that guild leader if we so choose, and then in a second project, third, fourth, fifth project, wherever we want to take it, we could do their origin story. We can do that and relive the full moments that we saw.
Tales from the Project CC.
I think that the disgraced former guild head of some kind is definitely on the table for me. What?
Jackie Donahue.
Yeah. Real human former guild head.
Yeah.
Definitely not a human, like an anthropomorphic dog.
I think that covers it. I feel like most of what we're thinking about was the behind the scenes stuff that we might not be ready to talk about.
And we really had a singular focus last episode. So it's hard to have many set in stones when we were just talking about prison and what that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that those are some really, really good. The idea that they are prisoners. I want to lock that in. B, the customs idea, I want to lock that in. C, recruiting from a former guild head, probably disgraced. I definitely want to lock that in. Those are all really, really fun ideas, and I think that they just kind of enhance our world. They enhance our ability to tell fun and engaging stories, in my opinion. But I think with that, again, a bit of shorter. I think these set in stones will always just be a little bit shorter than the line in the sand episodes. We are dreamers, so if something's on the table, it's just on the table, and that's what it is. We don't get to have any fun. Well, we can have some fun with it, but I don't want to have too much fun with it and spoil anything for potential story bits that we want to have hidden, because that's an interesting thing doing this, talking about it as we're creating it. I want to say things. I don't want to spoil story bits. I don't know yet exactly what the important story bits are. Because if we say I want a disgraced head guild captain,
and that's like the whole plot, that's
Yeah.
the whole thing, that's the...
it's like, well, I saw that come from day one because I listened to the episode. We just start saying guild head to come and recruit them, and then it's like, oh, weird, it's a disgraced guild head. Yeah, I
Must
don't.
be.
Yeah. So that's a fun thing that we have to think about, is what we're talking about a story spoiler that we don't want to put out, and can it become a story spoiler that we don't want to put out?
Especially when we don't know the story yet.
Yeah,
It's like you gotta try to... It's like reading the back of a video game or a book or something. That's the vague information.
Yeah.
This is what it's about.
Yeah.
And then you try to leave out all the details.
Yep.
And
Yeah, it's like super primordial ooze, my precious ooze moments of creation. Where, yes, it's still like crazy mutable. There's so many things that we can do with the source material, with the setting, with the whatever. Yeah, it's tricky right now because I want to say all the things and I don't know exactly what's super important yet.
yeah, if we could talk about everything, this would probably at least be... Just know it'd probably be like a 2-hour podcast. Like
a week,
may
every
not
week,
sometimes seem like it, but we have a lot of stuff brewing, and it's just comes down to putting all the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about it. We have like not a storyboard, because that I think implies like images and stuff like that.
Not
but we
yet.
have not yet. We have bullet points for what we want the story to look like, and we have timelines for when those things should happen, roughly. So this is kind of getting those puzzle pieces to link up A to B, B to C, C to D. But yeah, again, very fun. We've been talking ear off about nothing for the Set in Stone episode. So I think we're going to close it here. Do you have anything else, Spencer?
I just want to say that I love them.
Yeah, I love them too.
And we appreciate you guys
Yes.
sticking around, hanging out, listening to us jibber jabber and jaw jack and
It's such a fun thing. We're back to talking about nothing. It's such a fun thing to be able to dream. So to be able to do this and that nobody listens, everybody listens, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just fun to sit down and do this and have an audio recording of it to then go back and listen to. I think once we kind of get into the weeds on this thing, to come back and listen to all the Set in Stone episodes and really figure out what we said.
Storm will really start brewing, and then things are going to start happening.
Exactly.
But until then...
Yes. As we always love to say, stay safe out there.
And don't get mugged.
If you are struggling, please reach out to someone or dial 988 to get connected with someone at the National Suicide Hotline. You do not have to go it alone.